Well, here we go again. As it continues, alpha male, Betamax from A to Z. We got through the entire first shelf of alphabetized tapes. They were mostly the smaller tapes. So now here's the other section of bigger boxed and whatever that didn't quite fit into that one that were all sort of alphabetized. And then all of these need to merge. So I thought as I'm doing it, might as well show you. But I mean, look at this thing. Peter Sellers. I had no idea he was Tom Thumb. I have no idea what year that is. And this box is beat, sir. I mean, it is beat. These boxes were a little weird in that it was almost like a origami you had to do to put these together. I can only imagine the people that had to do this back in the day. Just must have been crazy. Drives you crazy. So let's see there. Tom Thumb is Russ Tamblyn. Now, I think we talked about this in the last video. Amber Tamblyn's father? Why did it say Peter Sellers and then I don't see Peter? Oh, there he is. He's Tony. Oh, sorry, Pete. Now, what is the year? 58. Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. That's going to be a tough watch there, but anyways, you get to see whatever they're talking about on the back. I'm not going to bother to read that one. I find it completely uninteresting, so just having a little trouble over at the desk. Stuff doesn't want to work with me. So there's Tom Thumb, whoop-de-doo, in Fancy Boy box. And now here's one I don't see very much. Stakeout. And I'm talking even on VHS. Beta is rare as it is, but VHS, you could probably go into any flea market or garage sale and they're going to have some kind of VHS. You know, probably a copy of Pretty Woman or something stupid like that. But Stakeout, and you can't even on physical media, next generations like Blu-ray, and I never see this movie. I don't even know if it's available. But this was just kind of a goofy little kissy poo movie with Emilio Estevez. He was trying to transition, and Richard Dreyfuss. And I think it's probably sort of a reaction to Lethal Weapon. Although I will say this one is sort of Lethal Weapon, but it's sort of Body Double. But it's sort of a rom-com. I wouldn't say rom-com, but what a romance a little bit. You can see this was a rental. It's hard to pigeonhole this movie, but I mean, basically, it's they're watching a witness, and one of the police officers, Dreyfuss, falls in love with the witness, even though he's not allowed to talk to her. You've seen it before, probably on TV, etc. This feels very TV, this movie. And you go the rental, Touchstone. Yeah, you just don't see too much Touchstone. But this is in one of those VCR boxes that they fitted for a Betamax tape, so it would look more streamlined for the shelf. They did that with CDs. The first CDs that came out were in these giant cardboard boxes to fit in the shelves of the record stores. And then people started getting mad about, the environment and all the waste that was involved in it. They started coming up with different solutions until finally they came through with the idea of, we're just going to put the CD out. So you don't like it? Tough. Oh. Monitoring someone else's cell phone for the day is a real bummer, you know what I mean? Man. Let's carry on. You don't have to worry about my problems. Scarlet and the Black. I've talked about this before, probably on a live stream. This movie, I was testing a setup I had. And so I look for a tape that, I don't care if that disappears. Like if I would have saw Tom Thumb, I would have put that in there. But I put this in there. And look at the way they butchered this box. Boy, do I hate that. I put this in, and it was the Nazis trying to take over the Vatican. And this guy here, he's famous. I'm blanking on his name at the moment. Um, he's a big star too. Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck is a priest inside the Vatican, and he's sneaking out. There's American that got trapped behind enemy lines, Jews. He's trying to get them all out of there. But this guy, Christopher Plummer, is the main Nazi, but he is not allowed to step foot in the Vatican. So that's how this priest is able to maneuver around, and all he has to do is get back into the Vatican, and that's it. So this turned out to be a very good movie. I sat there and I watched the whole thing, even though I was just testing. So some of these old movies, you know, I watched Horatio Hornblower too, which was Gregory Peck. I can see why so many people liked him, because he elevates the material. The best actors do. Don't know this. A Show of Force. And who do we got in there? Andy Garcia, Amy Irving, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Robert Duvall. Now, see, I've never heard of this, but just reading the amount of people that are in there, this ought to be fantastic. And look at the price somebody got it for. I can tell you I paid substantially less than that, but that's not the point, right? TV journalist. Boy, am I sick of TV journalists. Is on the biggest story of her career, if she lives to tell. Irving, Andy Garcia, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Robert Duvall join forces for A Show of Force. A taunt? I need to brush up on my vocabulary. Political thriller based on one of the biggest scandals in Puerto Rican history? The brutal 1987 killing of two young men at a mountaintop broadcast tower were they terrorists, as the government claims? Or were they student activists lured to their deaths by the FBI? A Show of Force travels a treacherous path of lies and violence to find an answer. That don't sound too bad, except who do you root for? That's the only thing I'm thinking of. Look at this. Talk about interesting boxes for a Betamax. I'm not even 100% sure how you get this out of here. I guess like the butthole was not pushed down or something. Maybe it's supposed to be a slider. I don't know. That doesn't seem correct to me, the way this is structured. I guess they were always looking for new ways to do it. But I'm sure it was supposed to look like this. That'd be my guess. Anyways, A Show of Force. Looks like it's in pretty good condition. I'm not seeing any signs of a rental, but if it was $8, I don't know. Something tells me this was a rental, and then they do that thing where they sell it off once they know they're not getting any more money for it, but I don't see any signs of that. So maybe it was just stock that wasn't selling. Don't know. Don't care. Ah, here we go. Now, I remember this movie. Saw it in the theater even. Zorro the Gay Blade. Dual Role by George Hamilton. All right, let's give it up. And something happens to Zorro where he's injured, so the brother has to come in, sort of like Gallagher and Gallagher 2. But the brother is gay and very flamboyant, as you could tell by his Zorro outfit. It has Lauren Hutton in it. And, oh, somebody didn't rewind it. This is, I would love to see this again, because it's got to be over 40 years since I've seen this. You know, and as a kid, you like the flamboyant Zorro. It's fun. I mean, check out that outfit. So I'm not going to read it because I basically just told you what it was. But if you can find that, because this is one of those lost medias, I'm assuming it's very politically incorrect, so maybe that's why. But I will watch that. That is fantastic. The Fourth Man in the Worst Type of Case music video. Sales and rentals. Pacific Coast Highway, Long Beach. Oh, Music Plus. Yeah, I remember. Believe in Us. We're Music Plus. That's my handwriting, so I must have done that. Then we got a tape that's been through. Ooh, look at that. That's the rare double reel that you can see through. The Fourth Man. No clue what that is. But it's kind of fun to have the Music Plus on there. I've been in Music Plus. There was Licorice Pizza. That was your first choice. Then your second choice would have been Music Plus because it was across the street. And then also there was The Warehouse, which seemed to outlast all of those I previously mentioned until they turned into Sam Goody. And I think Tower ate their lunch. And then they all just disappeared. This says warning sign. Another, some type of rental. No clue. No idea what warning sign is. None. Oh, that says something on there. And there's an address. That logo seems like we've seen that before. What in the world does that say? North Valley Road, Fayetteville, South Carolina. So is this before they got that other one? Remember they were in like Goldsboro or something? And then Fayetteville? Sounds like this was before, so it must be an old tape. The warning sign, excuse me. Warning sign. And then another one, Music Plus. There it is, old school, whatever. True Believer, I believe this is James Woods, right? And he's like is he a kissy boy lawyer or, I can't remember. True Believer, there's the tape. Definitely a rental. But the case didn't let you know about that, that is. But now here's something very interesting. Look at that. Look at these right here. This is the way paper used to have to be held in the printer. We would feed it through like that. Let's see what I can read here. Receipt, music, and then it's something. Music plus music. Music. Music plus. Okay, great. We got it. Title, True Believer. Format, Betamax. Unit number, good luck finishing that number. Turns, 31. What the fuck does that mean? Days, 45. Dollars, 95.60. List price, $89.95. Cost, 0. Blah, 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 blah. What the hell does that mean? Date invoiced, 7/20/89. Okay, so I don't understand this receipt, but it is a receipt. There's no way I'm reading that, but I put it here in case somebody can, like you have a big screen TV or something and you have an interest in seeing what that says. But there's a little piece of our history. True Believer. Get it? And here's another one. Music Plus. Taipan. I don't know Taipan, so can't tell you anything about that. Definitely a rental. Look at that tape. It's all beat. The glue is what I mean by that. The actual tape doesn't look too bad. There's a little sticker there. Oh, there you go. That's so they can scan it in. It seems like the better video stores had a scanning system. Rather than, when I lived in Hawaii, it was around 98 or 99. And there was a mom and pop video store still in business. And they actually wrote shit down. Not computerized at all. And our last one for the day is kind of a cheat because it's Year of the Dragon again. This is my copy that I actually used to watch it because remember the other one was sealed. Look at that, it got a little damage there. So this is the one I would use to watch it. And because last time it was sealed, you didn't get to see all this stuff, like the fancy card over here. So you got Mickey Rourke, Tracy, boy am I terrible. I think the T is silent, so I'm going to say Zoo. Tracy Zoo. Oh, those are character names. The actors are Mickey Rourke, John Lane, Ariani. I don't know how to say that name. Ryan, whatever. Leonard Turmo, Ray Berry, Caroline Cava, Eddie Jones, Joey Chin, Victor Wong, Kay Doc Yip. Yeah, those names I don't know. But I do know that Oliver Stone had something to do with, maybe he wrote it or whatever. I don't know. Again, fab movie. I mean, this movie is for if you like gun movies, okay, but you're a little smarter. You know, you don't just like a guy walks in and starts shooting everything, and you know, like what would be a movie that's like mindless shooting? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. They just don't jump to mind at the moment. So, listen. Thank you for watching. I assure you, these will get alphabetized and then sorted, and then we will carry on. Thank you. Bye-bye.